Howdy, howdy, folks. A-Train here with you for a new city build in City Skylines, now available on Steam from Colossal Order and Paradox Interactive. We are going to work on the Meandering River map and start a new city we're calling Evansville. Why Evansville, A-Train? Because it's a cool little town on the Ohio River in southern Ohio. Second biggest city, I believe, in the state of Indiana. And it's kind of indicative of the terrain of this map, and actually the horseshoe shape in the river, if you look at it, it actually does that in that portion of the Ohio as it's you're looking across at Kentucky. So yeah, that's why. It's a cool little industrial town. Southwest Indiana State University, I think, is there, and so it's a college town. You've got some industry. Railroads are there. I know Norfolk Southern's there. I think former nickel plate territory and a couple of other things. So let's cut the willy foo-foo stuff and get into the game. Now, what's funny about this is I'm live streaming something I have actually already done twice. The first time I wanted to check out the map and try it. And actually, I used this as my test practice map a while back. But also, I actually set this up to record this afternoon and was farting around with it. And yeah, forgot to switch on so that the recording OBS would actually record me playing the game as opposed to just the opening cover photo. Because I was going to edit it down and everything so it was, a digestible chunk. So we're going to set ourselves a target goal here with this episode to get to, I think, the second milestone, which is like Worthy Village or something like that. It's like the 900 something people. I don't want to make this super long. All right. And let's take a look at what we got. We have access on this map to open water down here at this end. We can't see it quite yet, but eventually we'll have access to open water in the ocean. We have rail coming right through the middle of the map, which is great. So we'll have early access to rail. We don't have immediate access to building off the highway, but we do have the highway connection. So we're going to rotate the map around, and I am going to look at this as the oh, you know what, let me okay, not that that's a big deal. Okay, this is south. Effectively, we're looking south. The highway is north, okay, because the Ohio River is on the south side of Evansville. So yeah, there we go. I just reoriented it 180 degrees from the way I originally started. Okay. All right, so we don't have anything going yet, so the first thing you got to do with a game, of course, is plop down a little section of road. So we'll just do that. Boink. Yep, cool. All right, there's that. That's done. Now we'll bulldoze that, get that out of the way. All right, so we got the highway connection coming in. I'm not a big fan of this setup. What I've done and what I intend to do with this build is have the railroads be an integral part of the design. And this is an issue I have with City Skylines, is it kind of starts you at modern day and says, here, boom, do this, as opposed to starting 100 years ago. See, if you went back 100 years in Dallas, for example, there were a whole bunch of railroads running through a dusty town, all right? The city of Dallas, is Dallas, Texas, USA, which is where I live, actually is what it is today because of the railroads. A little quick history. The Texas and Pacific Railroad and the Houston, Texas Central Railroad planned a junction where they were going to meet to interchange traffic and whatever. That was going to take place in a little town called McKinney, Texas, which is about 30 miles or so, 35 miles east, northeast of Dallas. Okay. Well, business interests and politicians in Dallas got involved in this and convinced them to move that junction into Dallas. Well, because of the railroads, Dallas grew to be what Dallas is, a huge metropolitan city. And McKinney remained a relatively small town, although now it's a rather large city suburb of Dallas in Collin County. So the railroads had a lot of effect on things. The layout of downtown Dallas is dictated in part because the railroads. Pacific Avenue, which the Dark Light Rail runs down, was the Texas and Pacific route into their yard. Central Expressway is named after the Houston and Texas Central. The two railroads met over towards what's now Deep Ellum, which is an industrial area east of downtown. The building designs, the street layouts, everything was dictated by the railroad. Okay? Well, we've got no railroad really to dictate things, but we kind of do. So we have this. But we also have the constraints of the game. So I want to try to work with the constraints and some things I've learned recently on kind of how you set the game up initially. Because you've got to have you have your three zones. You have your residential, your commercial, and your industrial zones. And I think I've been doing it wrong. Typically, I do a crossing setup here where I'll have industry on one side, commercial kind of along the middle, and then residential on the other side. So it's away from the pollution and everything. Or vice versa. Residential over here, commercial in the middle, industrial over here. But someone pointed out on the map, and this is very interesting, that you really want to have the industrial as close to the highway as possible, because then all the goods come and go from there. Then you put your commercial in between the two, and then you have your residential, so they're not affected by the noise and the air pollution from the industrial. So this is your buffer zone. So green, blue, yellow, right? Make sense? Cool. All right. So the couple of things I've been dinking around with the last couple of days were setting this up where this becomes kind of the main drag through town. But I built everything over on this side of it. Now I'm rethinking, well, maybe that's not the best idea. Boy, thinking out how to start this. And this is why I recorded it earlier, because I wanted to be able to edit it down so you guys wouldn't be sitting there going, yeah. Okay, A-Train, get to it. And stuff like that. So, I'm kind of trying to figure out how to do this. Now, the one thing I did envision was having railroad tracks run up here and then go into this industrial area over here. This could be forest industry eventually, although more likely this is forest industry, although it seems to me like you almost really want, like residential down on the river, because that's super cool and pretty and neat and everything. And I think this is a lot of good farmland. If you look at the map, this is really good farmland over here. There's ore up and then there are hills, and then over here-ish somewhere is a lot of oil. So we've got a lot of resources on this map, in addition to having access to everything, and including out this way we'll have access to open water and shipping, which I do want to get involved in the process. So how do we begin? Boy, it's a great question. Part of what I've learned in watching City Planner Plays, who's a city planner, has a great YouTube channel. So if you like the city skyline stuff, he's definitely somebody to watch. Is you do a lot of everything with your early design. You use gravel roads. Why, A-Train? Because they're cheap and because they work. And then you can upgrade them later as desired, which is super cool. So we're going to use the gravel roads extensively, maybe not initially here, but we're going to use them extensively through the design process here. And then I want to try to set up the layout so that we do keep in mind, and remember, you can change this down the road. The key at the beginning, though, if you're not playing with infinite money, is you're on a budget. And you do have to get the town up and going and residents moving in to start making money. And then at some point, you'll hit that critical mass of number of residents, and then your industrial intake and your tax base grows to where you're starting to make enough money that you get the freedom to kind of do what you want to do. Okay, so that's some basics. If you're new to the game, hopefully you just learned something. If you're just watching for fun, and like shut up and build. Okay, well let's get to that. I do like what I was doing though. I feel like this is going to be like Broadway, and this is a big time, major thoroughfare through town. And so I'm trying to figure out how to divide that up. And you know what? I think what I'm going to do is instead of, see, I'm trying to figure, and I want to do realistic street names too. Do we want to run Main Street perpendicular to Broadway? You know? Or do we want to run Main Street parallel with Broadway? Right? That kind of makes sense, right? I mean, I guess this could be Main Street. I do want to have a old time like center square of town. And then maybe, you know, stuff is built other places that's your bigger residential areas or bigger commercial areas and what have you. So again, we get kind of a realistic feel, you know, hey, this started as a small town along the railroad somewhere along the way and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. All right. So some things I also want to try to teach you in doing this is that you have to, you do have to make some plans, okay, for the future. So what I'm going to do here is try not to get too crazy with road costs. We're going to go out 1,000 there. And what? Dork. Okay, it won't cost anything to change this though. This is supposed to be one-way roads. Okay, that's the one-way road we want. Now, if you want to change a road, you go to the exclamation point, okay? And you pick the road you want, and then upgrade costs $200. Great. Blah. There's a waste of $1,000. Okay, so that's done. Now we can get it right. So now we're going to go back over here to the straight road thing. Now, notice it's only 2 tiles wide. The tile width is key. When you're doing 2 lanes, all right, and even the small 3-lane roads, they're only 2 tiles wide. But when you get up into 4-lane, I think there is a small 4-lane road that doesn't have like any sidewalks to it. And that only is 2 tiles wide. But you've got to plan for expanding these up to bigger roads. So if you go to a full-size 3-lane road that's like in this medium-sized road and what have you, see how that just all of a sudden now it's 4 tiles wide? All right, that's where it gets to be problematic. And see, here is the 6-lane road, but notice it's 4 tiles wide. All right, so always leave yourself an extra tile space in your building and planning for your future road expansion, because we're going to want to make this a 3-lane, major highway road eventually. Okay. Right now, we just have to work with what we got to work with. Plus, we don't want to spend a whole lot of money on stuff we don't need. So notice there is 2 tiles space in between the two. Well, if we put this right here, this one eventually will take up all 4 of these tiles, and then this one will take up these 4 tiles. Okay. So that's thinking ahead that you've got to do with this game for success. All right. So there's our baseline. So what I think I want to do this time, maybe a little differently. I still really feel like industry should be over here. This gives us a lot more room for residential over here. I think that's the way I'm going to work this. You'll have a lot of situations. Just go on Google Maps and type in Railroad Street. Now, what you'll find is either a street in a town, in any town in America, named Railroad Street, and either a railroad ran literally down the street, which was called street running, or it ran parallel to it. Okay? And in some cases, like here in Dallas, down in the east side, which there's Santa Fe Trail or Santa Fe Road, which paralleled the Santa Fe as it came out of East Dallas Yard and went out to Zaca Junction. So what we want to plan for here is a couple of things. First off, we know this is going to eventually widen out to take out 4 tiles. So if we built and zoned this here, we would lose one of those tiles of those buildings, and they would downgrade to only 3 tiles deep. So anything we build, we want to make sure we give 1 extra tile gap here. Now, that said, then anything beyond that, we probably want to leave an extra tile there as well. Okay? So let's do this. Let's switch. I want to switch back. Switch. All right. We are going to get this. I think I'm going to get this. Turn that off. Go to that. And go over here. Nope. There we go. Gravel road. Okay. So now this is the cheap stuff. So again, This is going to take 2 tiles. See how this looks? It's going to take 2 tiles of width minimum. All right. So we don't want to build there. We want to scoot over at least 2 tiles. Now, see, this would mean anything we built here, of course, we wouldn't really have any room to build on the left side of it, right? Am I making sense? Or am I talking to myself here? Let's tilt up, actually. Tilt the angle up so you can see the overhead view a little bit better. So part of what I want to do here, and we're going to look at the space available. Actually, this is going to work because there's 2 squares available between this area that's showing the width, which is your 4 tiles of width to build in. And your typical buildings within city skylines are 4x4. All right. You can build in 2x2, you can build in 3x3, or you can build in 2x4, whatever. But it's 4x4 is your base number. Okay. I want to leave 2 tiles between this road and the edge of the map. And that's just simply so that there's room for future expansion. If we widen this road, or we want to drop in a structure, like say the recycling bin or a power plant, that's 6 tiles. Okay. So this is going to be the edge. I'm going to use this. See, we've got this marker right here. All right. And we're going to use this as our base for our industrial road. All right. So industrial road. Woohoo. Way to go, A-Train. That's great and cool and neat in a neat and cool sort of way. How did we get there? Well, that's a good question. So let's say I don't want to get too close to this bridge, because I feel like if there's going to be like a highway, because there's usually major roads paralleling the bridges, it's going to need to fly over whatever's here, which is probably going to be a Y that goes like this. Okay. And then runs up here, and then there's going to be a freight depot in here to serve this industrial area. That's future planning. So we need to decide where the railroad's going to run. And the trick on this is going to be, we want to give an extra tile space here. Okay. So that's this too. And then one other thing we're going to do, we're going to look at this here. We're going to leave, again, room for future growth. We're going to back off 2 tiles. Okay. So that's going to leave extra space between these roads. Okay. So we're going to back off 1, 2 tiles there and leave extra space between those roads. Okay. So we're trying to set up a baseline here. All right. Now this road, I want to actually have come out and connect. Boom. Boom. Now we'll fix that in a minute. Don't worry about that. Now we're getting some markers over here. All right. So our railroad, we want to keep, again, 4 tiles available. There's 2, there's 4. These 2 are where the railroad, in theory, is going to be. Just like that. Okay? Which means now Railroad Street and train tracks are going to be 2 tiles wide. So Railroad Street, if we keep it 2 tiles wide, and we could upgrade that to like a 4-lane at 2 tiles wide, or we could move over 1 more to give ourselves a little bit of leeway, would be right here. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. That's Railroad Street. Okay. So now we're going to connect this here, run this down here, and we'll go a little beyond. We'll go to the edge of the map, kind of, almost. Connect this in here. Okay. So now we've got the basis for our industrial area. And we'll run this down here. Why are you running that down there, A-Train? Because I have a plan. All right. You'll see. So again, this is the railroad track through here. So this will come across like this and a Y like this. And then the trains will run down through here. And at some point, we'll have a curve built into it to where they turn in to a freight yard serving this industrial area. That's the plan. And eventually we'll buy this square over here, so we'll have additional space in that regard as well. Okay. Yay us. Now, problem is, I I put the fat area here, which is all great. The problem is we're going to need more residential than we need industrial. As you see at the bottom of the screen, R, that's green. Very high demand for residential zone. We need houses. We need people. A-Train, you kind of stuck yourself. Yes, I kind of did. All right? Because you don't want to build the houses right up here next to the industrial crap because people are like, gross. So, there's a couple of ways we can do this. We could just go this way. Okay. Or we could just go with the plan and kind of build down this way, build down Railroad Street. I kind of like this idea, though, of going this way. And that way we have all the room we need for... Is that straight? I don't know. That felt like it went... Okay, there. Got the 90 degree indicator there. All right, we're going to go that distance. All right, now. So this, I think, is going to be Main Street. At least to here, it's going to be Main. And then this is going to be Railroad Street because it parallels the railroad, right? Now, how do you fix that, A-Train? That's a great question. Thanks for asking, viewer. Crowley Drive. You see that? Okay. See how it lights up blue when I click? Boink. We're going to click on it. Boom. Hit enter. Okay. And then it changes the whole thing to Railroad Street. End to end. Railroad Street. Now, if you build a street and then you change the length of it, like you add on to it later down the road, okay, you just click on this here and then you extend that line out to the end. It'll change the name on down to the end. All right. Now you can also make some changes here with this. I'm not going to mess with that right now because I think that goobered something up with TPME. It's Traffic Manager Presidential Edition. And I want to make sure that works. So, all right. So there's Railroad Street. Now, we have a couple different ways we can do this. We can make this Main Street over here. We can make this Main Street all the way. You know what? Let's make this Main Street. Boom. There's Main Street. Okay, cool. Everyone happy? Good. Now, this is going to be Broadway. All right. And this is going to be Broadway South. This is going to be Broadway North because it's one way each direction. Right? We tracking? Okay. So hit enter so it takes it. Because you click on something else, you'll lose it, right? You don't want to lose it. Just a second here. All right. All right, so now we need to change the other one. This is going to be Broadway North. Okay, boom. And that changes that. All right, so now we got this street, got this street. This is the Railroad Row. No, that does not mean Railroad Row. That means Railroad Right-of-Way. Okay, that's what that means. All right, so that's the right-of-way. Now, then that leaves over here a couple of other street names to deal with, right? So I think what we'll do is make this Umber Drive Industrial. Industrial Drive, Street, Way, Lane. What do you think? Chat, talk to me. Industrial Street, Industrial Drive, Industrial Way. Kind of sounds good. We can change it. So, and then this is going to be one more industrial street. So, what do we want to name this? We can name it, Smokestack Way or Pollution Way or Gangway. Actually, you know what? This doesn't necessarily even have to be industrial here because we need to fill all this out first. So, maybe we'll do that first and then come back to it. Now, here's a cool little thing. Up here in UI, click on this. This has our unified UI, which has all our little add-ons. Boom. Gives me that, and boom. Cool, huh? Now, notice how this says Umber Drive again. It insists on changing the name on it. So I'm going to click on Industrial Way, click on this, and drag this down to the end. And then it's Industrial Way all the way. Hooray. So Smith Road. Let's see. What would be a good name for an industrial street? Vanderbilt Way, Steel Road, Steel Street. Oh, wait. I got it. Iron Horse Way. Get it? Get it? Anybody get it? Does anybody get it? Are you too young to get it? Do we know what the Iron Horse is? That's the railroad. That's the train. Locomotives are called Iron Horses. All right. So again, we're looking south. So Broadway south, Broadway north, one way each direction. Main Street over here. Super. So now Main Street being laid out, okay? We're going to plan on that growing and becoming a bigger street. All right. So we definitely want to leave, room for 2 tiles of growth. All right. So if we upgrade it to, see, boom, right? Makes sense? Okay. So that's what we want to keep that in mind. And that may only go to right here. All right. We'll figure that out. In fact, we're going to actually keep stuff back away from here because we could change this into some kind of a different interchange or something down the road, and maybe make this like where it's more of a highway speed deal, and then you exit off, and then you can come down Main Street. So, which is going to be a little bit goofy because you would expect Main Street to be closer to where all this happened, but Broadway, Main Street, we're going to work it out. All right. So, again, we're going to keep this spacing available to us. All right. But we're going to need to set up residential neighborhoods. All right. We want commercial along here, and that's fine. We'll worry about the commercial, being changed later. But let's keep, 10, 20 tiles, I think. It probably doesn't have to be 20. Probably about right there. That'll do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we got Broadway, right? And again, we've got to keep a tile for growth. We're going to put 2 tiles between. I'm not going to put this here. I'm going to just use that as a reference and get out here. Why are you doing that, A-Train? Because I know things. I know that sounds like a smart-ass response, but there's a reason, a method to the madness. Okay, so what we did by starting here is we've left 2 tiles of space. See, there's 2 tiles, 1, 2, for future growth. All right. But I want to keep this space available. Something seems weird about this, though. All right. But this also has our 2 tiles of growth potential here. All right. So we're planning. So here, we don't want to build here. Unless this is all residential, that's only going to be 2-lane roads. Okay. So you don't need to worry a whole lot about it at this point. But there's a disclaimer here. If you want to make like walks or paths or things like that, then you go on and leave a couple of tiles of space. All right. I feel like I want to move this over a little further. And all right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your booty on the floor. Let's do it this way. I know this is going to cost us a little bit of money, but that's okay. We'll recover. Yeah, hello? Hello? We got a little bit of a refund there. Okay, cool. Back to the streets. Okay? All right. I have a plan. Okay, this is going to go here. Okay. And these roads would probably be pretty tight together. So we'll do this This is going to give us a lot of room for housing. This, we're going to look to build the town square this way. So we'll focus more on doing that later when we expand the map. And that'll be with our second like tier upgrade. Okay. So here's your streets. Old town section. They're all going to be narrow, close together, and all that. All right. So here we go. Hemlock Drive is now first. Do we want to do First Street or First Avenue? Street or Avenue? Come on, chat. Let's go. Speak to me. Street or Avenue? So we do First Street, or we could do First Street, or we could do First Avenue, or we could do Avenue A. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's the way we're going to do. Oh, wait. This doesn't feel right. Or, because this is very popular in your smaller towns, we can start doing tree names. Now, see, this is Main Street, right? Let's look at making a crossroad here because I have a plan. All right. We're going to go out 6 tiles to here. This is going to be our first cross street here. Okay. And then if we do other cross streets, they'll be further down. But this gives us room for commercial here, and it gives a little extra room for expansion. So we can do Main Street, and then we can do numbered streets north-south, or we can do named streets. North, south, east, west. Anyone got a preference? Anyone? Bueller? Quiet people in the chat tonight. You're being gun shy or keyboard shy or something. Speak up if you got a pair. And if you don't have a pair, speak up anyway. If you're not here, speak up. So this could be Avenue A, Avenue B, C, D, or it could be First Street, Second Street, Third Street, Fourth Street. And then this could be, Avenue A, and it could go that way. And then we could name them Tree Streets going this way or whatever. All right. So let's just do this, I guess, this way. First, hello? What just happened? Hello? Hemlock Drive. Nope. First, let's do First Street. So we're kind of going old school with this setup. All right. Then we're going to do Second Street. I could do these brick roads like Ironton, Ohio. I would do that. Beechwood Way. That's a good one. Third Street. Okay. And then Fourth. Okay. All right. So now we got that. Now this can be Avenue A, or we could start calling by tree names, for example, like Aspen. Something like that. Or we can do Avenue A, or we could do, whatever. Anybody have any thoughts on that? What do we want to do the naming convention going south towards the river? We're coming off of Main Street, so we want to do Avenue A. So first in Avenue A, second in Avenue A. There, Avenue A. We can always change it. All right. Then we want to make sure we extend First Street up this way. Not going to get quite to the edge of the map, but we want reference points. And we want lots of residential. We want lots of room for residential growth. Okay, so now those are going to be different names, right? See, it changed it on us again. So now we're going to hit this, drag this up here, bada bing, bada boom. Do the same thing here. Bada bing, bada boom. Big bada boom. There. And then click on this one and there. 4th Street. Okay? Cool? Cool. All right. So that's our basic layout here as we're starting up the city. So now Avenue A, Now we can make our blocks a little bigger, maybe going down the street or whatever. We can actually go back and move this and back it off. So the idea here is your commercial zone is going to take up not that much. You go here. This is your fill. So see, this fills a whole section, and we'll do stuff like that. The marquee gives you control like this. See what I'm saying? All right. So now, the reason we're giving ourselves this level of control is we can fill in these 4 tiles here. Okay? For example, these 2 are for future growth. We widen this road, we will lose this row of tiles right here. Therefore, we'll need this row of tiles in the future. Okay? So we want to keep that open for now so we don't, jack anyone's style going forward. All right? So then we're going to leave this row of tiles open. Even though this is a smaller avenue here, it probably won't get wider, but then we'll have 5 tiles to work with. You know what? I'm going to move it 1 more because I think a school takes an extra tile. I think the school takes an extra tile. And that's my concern, is the school. All right? I kind of plan everything around the schools. So let's move this, and let's move this to here. Nope, there, boom. Wait, no, that's not even 1 tile. That's 2 tiles. We want to go from here to here. Here to here. All right, see, that's jumping over. See, that's lined up there. We want to go here to here. Okay? So we're going to go back and redo this street. Boom, boom. This is why you do it with gravel roads to start with. You get your planning up and going with gravel roads. All right, so now this is going to be, hello? Avenue A. Okay? Hit enter so it sets it, and then you can close it out. All right, so now we got Avenue A. So now we're looking good. We know the trains ran over here. We just have this little gap here. Maybe there was an old street down here, but we're just basically saving ourselves space here to create a buffer from what's going to be, a pretty heavily used road in our residential area over here. All right. So now we can go ahead. We're not going to go on Main Street. We're going to go off Main Street. Okay. 4 plus 2, and we're actually going to go plus 3, and then we can go down to this level. And that's where we're going to start our residential work. Okay. So we're going to do, and we can go all the way across like this. In fact, we can go all the way across over here. And I'm saving this, like maybe that was, at some point there was probably a road that cut across there, and maybe Iron Horse, may have connected or something like that, and they left it open for utility right away or something like that. Okay. Now, speaking of utility right away, we're going to need that, and that's what we're going to use this gap for now. So, that's not going to be near enough for residential, but, so we are going to actually start at First Street. We'll put in just a crap ton, and it'll be okay. We are going to do some utility work. Now, we're going to need to run power to this. Problem is I can't see, but I know there's 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. So here should be safe. Okay? Because then we got 5 tiles down to Main Street. So this is where the utilities are going to run to. All right? And right now, I'm actually going to put it right here. We're going to run it across. And maybe we're going to run it across. Let me think this through. We got to put a power plant in. All right? Early game, don't worry about being clean. This stuff is too expensive for what it provides. Just put in a coal-fired power plant. Your people will get over it. You can upgrade to clean, green energy down the road. It's expensive as hell. For efficiency to start the game, use coal, and you'll be fine. All right? Very simple. Now, see, this is why I provided this much space. See, we've got room for the power plant right here at the edge of the map. Okay. Now, trucks are going to have to truck in coal for this, so we got to keep that in mind. So we're going to put that right there. All right. So now, that's going to provide our power. Now, we're going to need water for our citizens. We're going to have a water intake. See, the river has the little white triangles in it. That's showing the direction of the water flow. We're going to go right here at the edge of the map. Now, if you decide to use, that's the inlet. Okay, water pumping station. You can use a water tower too. All right. I go ahead and just go for the Gusto because it's going to give you a lot more production. See, it does 120,000 cubic meters per week. This is only 60,000. This is double of this. All right. The price on this is 2,500. The price on this, 3,500. Wait, what? How's the? It's 1,000 more, and it's half as efficient. Yes. Now, you don't have to have a road connection. That's great, but you still have to have water treatment. So you have two options. Water drain pipe, which is where it dumps all the poo out. Always put this downriver of your pumping station. You put it upriver, the poo is just going to get ingested right back in and your people are going to get sick. So you always want to give it a little bit of gap. So you put it like here-ish and you'd be okay. I'd put it further down. We're not going to do that. We're going to go the cleaner way because for $2,500, this is $2,500. Drain capacity, 120,000 cubic meters per week. Drain capacity, 120,000 cubic meters per week. Same price. Inland water treatment plant. Electricity, 240 kilowatts. Electricity, 240 kilowatts. So for the same price as this janky pump the shite out into the river deal, we can actually treat this stuff. And you can put it wherever the heck you want. Okay? So we're going to put that over here on. Now, we don't have room to put it right there, which kind of sucks. I was kind of hoping we would. We'll put it on this side of the road. All right? And I'm going to put it here for a reason. Okay? So now, we have water pumping and water cleaning. Now, we got to connect the two. Listen for the music, magical sound. Love that sound. Now, so there's that. Now we've got to run water to our people. And what we're going to do is run the main right under Main Street. Imagine that. All right. Now, the beauty of this is if you look at where we're running this, you see this blue area around it? That's showing you where the area of influence is. So anything contained within that area gets water. If you're out of that area, you're screwed. All right. So we're going to do that. Now, here's the thing. That gives us water all the way down Main Street. Okay. We can break off down Railroad Street, which is fine. That would kind of make sense. All right. And then we may do some additional connections over here. So, but notice it covers a pretty wide area, right? Okay. And actually, if you notice where I've got this, look where it covers in relation to Broadway. Because if we widen Broadway, guess where this is going to come to? The first row of where the building is. So it'll cover the right under the sidewalk. Okay. Now, over here, if we start here, we can run them down underneath. Was that First Street? Now, we come over here. That kind of overlaps. Well, that doesn't overlap. This is where things get hinky, is the spacing of the streets. Okay. So if we go here, the problem is we're going to have a whole section in here that's not covered. So we're going to have some overlap. But notice the width of the overlap. All right. The width of the influence here is basically 8 tiles between the roads plus 2 tiles for the roads. Okay. So you have about 10 to 12 tiles of width. If we're in the middle, there's 1 for the road, there's 8, and then 2 more, and then we get to, so you got 11 tiles or so. And now we're going to have a little bit of overlap here. Well, whatever, life goes on. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and do the overlap. And then if we want, we can hold off on laying over on this side of the street. See how there's not some service here? Because we've got plenty of housing covered over here. All right, we can go this way a little bit. We don't need to go all the way, just a little bit. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Excuse me. All right, cool. So now we've got water run. All right. We got water. We got pumping. We got cleaning. We got water in the industrial area covering down 3 sets of roads, basically, actually 4, because we could extend this street and we'd have, but that's going to be plenty of industrial coverage to start with. We could always just go like this and cover that space. You see what I'm saying? All right. That's kind of an efficient way to do it too. We don't need to do that though, because that gets expensive. Now let's run power. See, we got to run power. So our power plant's here. The purple area is the area of influence of the power plant, or an industrial building such as water treatment facility. Now, if I do that, it's going to cost me 300. If I do that, notice the power line thing went out, because that means now it's connected to power. I can save a couple $100 by switching to Geico. There's that. Now we got that online. So now we've got power to our water situation. God, that is such a bad use of that word. All right. So now that just leaves getting power to the residential area. Okay. We're going to use this as our right of way for the power lines is right down through here. And there is a little bit of reach to this. All right. So we're going to cut across like so-ish. And then we're going to come down to about here. Boom. Now, if we turn on this, right next to it. So this house here needs to be the first one that gets built. And once it does, it'll create, like this, a little area of influence around it, so it kind of catches other stuff. All right? So that's how the power setup works, okay? So we've got our street's name, we've got a railroad plan, blah, 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 blah. Got a residential area zoned. Are we ready to go? We got power set up. Everything's good. Let's go. Yay, first power plant. Now, see the first house built right where we wanted it to build. Now watch. See how they all interconnected there? Boom. See, there's environmental factors to consider. Heather, move out of my city. I don't want you. All right? You don't have any common sense. Pumping station works. Hooray. Freshwater Mayor rocks. Yay. Mayor A-Train. Woo. All right. So now, we have a little bit of money. And what I'm going to do is actually upgrade a couple of... I'm going to upgrade... Can I get an upgrade? We go to exclamation point. We're going to upgrade this street here. And then we're going to actually upgrade it over to here. Oh, that's going to take it out. Well, that's... You know what? We can fix that. So we're going to... Let's... What? Oh, hold it. Oh, see, this house built over at the edge. All right, so let's pause. Because they're blockheads. They built over at the edge. Okay. So now I've got to kind of build this out here a little bit just for them. Let me see if I got this right. You know what? That works. All right, now that's all covered. Okay. So these knuckleheads will have water. Yay. Way to go, knuckleheads. All right. I was going to widen this or pave this street, but look what happens. It takes out the power lines. That's why I paused it. So now we got to reconnect the power lines back in. I think that'll do. Go. You'll get a master idiot alert if your stuff doesn't have power. Now notice the master idiot alert went away for water. Now, what do we got happening now? Our residential demand has diminished to nothing because we got housing. But now we got a demand for commercial and for industrial. Okay? So we need jobs and we need commercial. All right? Commercial is going to go right here along Main Street. So we're going to do that one and this one and this one and maybe this one just for giggles. Okay? Now, we're going to leave this area clear through here. Over here, we could do something similar to that, but we're going to do our industrial over here. All right? So I'm going to leave some spare... Yeah, no, that's right there. Okay. There's that. There's 4. There's 8. There's 12. Let's build that there. And then we're going to keep that side open. And then we'll build... Let's say that there. And leave a little space and build that there. /A-Train Games. That's paypal.me/A-Train Games. All right, cool. Here we go. So let's resume. Watch our industrial start popping up. Now our commercial's popping up. Now it's about monitoring this. Oh, wait. Here's something important. And I didn't do this. I should have done it already. This is your economy tab. Punch this. See this? You can work your budgets. Early game, turn all this down to 50%. This will save you money by switching to Geico. You can't collect taxes yet. Now, let's resume. Now, if you want to know how you're doing, because the key two things are going to be electrical. We're producing 10 megawatts. We're only using 3 megawatts. Okay? And water. We're still all in the green. Okay? Now, as these start to slip down, and as this number here, see, it's 4 megawatts now. We're only at 40. Now we're at 50% capacity. See what I'm saying? As now we're at 60%. Okay? Then you move those sliders up in 10%, maybe 15%, maybe 20% increments. But for now, when you start, that will save you money from going out the door because you don't need to be at full capacity. Wait till you start seeing complaints, water pop up or, a little tweet come up at the top that says, hey, why is our water dirty? Or how do we got, what do I got to do to get power around here or whatever? Then go in the budget tab, doink, and move those sliders up just a little bit. Okay? But that takes this number way down, which see here, we're making $242 a week. And that's what you need to start with. Okay? So now we need a little more industrial. Industrial demand's starting to fall off a little bit. It's still there, but it's dropping. All right. So we're going to put in one more industrial zone. This one's saying he doesn't have water. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's in that little area. So we're going to address that real quick. 12. Yeah, you know what? That would probably be a good width. And then we could put in a road cutting across there. So let's do one here. Let's do one here. And then let's check the water. See, there he's stuck like Chuck with no water. So the cheap way to solve this is just do that. Okay? Go. Now, he's got water. He's good to go. Residential. See, residential starting to... Showering. See, showering bottled water starting to get expensive. That was based on him. Everybody else over here has water. Okay? So now, residential demand is coming up, as is industrial. Well, we just plopped in a couple of industrial zones. So they should be good. Residential, though, is something we can work on. So let's go add this in. And add this in. Since we had to do it because of these knuckleheads. All right. And then we can build more back here. Industrial continues to grow. See, it's popping up here. I think we just made it up. Hey, little hamlet. Hooray and huzzah. Hooray. We got our promotion. Okay, this is our first promotion. You get garbage, you get healthcare, you get education, which means you get schools, recycling center, which is great, landfill, medical center. Okay, so we're going to put that, plus you get some cash. All right, so we're going to put this in. Now, so with those things in play, let's do this. We're at 8 megawatts as opposed to 10. All right, now we get taxes. Boom. Immediately, jack your industrial or your commercial and residential, the 10%, industrial can go to 12%. 11 to 12. Okay? Then you start making money. Now, here we have Main Street. Notice we don't have any more commercial demand. We've created some more residential, which is fine. Industrial is growing. We'll keep that rolling for now. What we need to start looking at is a couple of things. First off, I think we're going to be pinging on that. We're still okay there. So we want to put a school in here somewhere. All right. And what we're going to do is do this and see, it says, what's your most recent stuff that you did? Well, we're actually going to click on this. And that's going to give us the road availability. Okay. But it's set up to change. So we're going to do this. So here, we're going to run this out another 10 tiles, whatever this is. Yeah, no, people aren't thrilled about this. Whatever. Okay, now we're going to put in a cross street here. Okay, and that, now, our names are changing. Okay, First Street, all the way down. Okay, Second Street, all the way down. Third Street, hello, hello, hello. Move that all the way down. You can make these go around the corners too. If you want to make a street like go around the corner or something goofy, you can do that. See? That would change that to 4th Street, but we don't want to do that. Okay? So there's 4th Street. Now, this is going to be Avenue B. Todd Road. Okay, whatever. Avenue, whoops. Okay, so Avenue B. Cool. So now we're going to look to build a scroll in here somewhere. And that's going to take up space. So we're going to take advantage of the fact we've got space over there, right? First off, we want to make sure we got water. We do have water. All right, you come over here. This is where we're going to put a scroll in. Now, notice the road's changing color to green. That's going to help indicate to you what is being served by the school being in that position. Now, here's the trick. If we put this further down, that means less service over to these houses, and the houses will upgrade based on the position of the school. Okay? I'm going to put it this way. It's going to cover all the houses on this side for the most part. If we do it this way, that may do an even better job. And then we'll just put the park on the back side of it. But this is going to help all the way up to Main Street. Boom. See, now everybody gets happy. So here is next. What I have not seen happen yet is we zoned residential over here. Nobody has taken advantage of that yet. We're going to nix that. We'll come back to it later, but we're going to nix it for now. We don't have any residential demand. We got unmet residential demand over here. You see what I'm saying? That means there's residential zoning that nobody's moved into yet. Supply and demand is key here. This is your economics lesson for the future. Okay? Now, here's the next thing I want to do. Avenue B. Again, if we click here, we're going to see that road right here. We're going to kind of extend that out, at least to here. So for future reference. Now, see, it says Todd Road. I don't care that that's not going to be Todd. Boom. All right, there we go. Excuse me. Now, do we need to do anything else over here? Not really. I mean, we could run that out for future reference and that out for future reference. So then we're covered. And then this out because of knuckleheads. Somebody named A-Train who did stuff in spaces he probably didn't need to. All right. Let's resume. Now, we have fire department available. All right. What would be a good place to put a fire department? Well, that's a great question. How about right here? Because that puts it where it's central. It covers Main Street. It gives it easy access across to the industrial area, which is where the majority of your fires take place. And it covers all the residential area. In fact, we could probably put it here, and that would be fine as well. Let's just pull back on the... And... Oh, wait. That's not the... That's the healthcare clinic. Oh, this is the healthcare clinic. We could put this on Main Street. That'd be fine. And this covers the whole community. We want to put this a little further away from the industrial. So this actually would be a good spot over here. But see how the roads are green? When the roads are green, that means they've got service. So this covers a really big area. I could put this here and it still covers everything with green. You see what I'm saying? So there's the school there, but this will probably have a little more traffic to it. So I kind of feel like it's better to put it up on Main Street. So that'll be the Main Street Clinic. Boom. All right, cool. Click on that. We'll call that the Main Street Clinic. Boom. Okay. Now we can make adjustments to the budget for that. Okay. Because we don't need the full budget amount for education right now. We don't have enough people. We don't need the full budget amount for healthcare. We don't have enough people. You see what I'm saying here? So, and in garbage, we can put that down. We're going to get the garbage here in just a minute. As soon as I check, we don't quite have enough money, but notice we're making $925 a week. Okay, healthcare for citizens, hooray! Now you're going to start seeing homes upgrade. All right, when you see that right there, now there's homes appearing. You'll see the scaffolding go up around a home, and you'll hear a sound. That home is upgrading. Now, see how they're starting to get electrical indicators? 11 megawatts, we're only producing 10. So now we go into our budget, and we're going to bump this up. We're going to go actually jump it up to 75%, which is more than we need. Again, if you've got to be, if you want to be a miser with this, that's fine. Go to 60, but we're going to jump it up there. Okay? And now we'll run it, and that'll take care of it. Watch those go out. Okay? Now, if we click on this, you'll see now we're producing 22 megawatts. We're at 100 and we're at 200% of our demand. All right. You don't have to be 200% of your demand. You just got to be 100% of demand, right? Make sense? Cool. See, now numbers are picking up. We need more industry. So we're going to come over here and we're going to put in some more industry. And now we got 17,000 people. So now we can do garbage. Garbage and industry is in the industrial tab. We could put it in a landfill. The landfill will cost $4,000. Uses no electricity and has a capacity of 15 garbage trucks. And will hold 8 million units of garbage. It's 100 pollution though. It's nasty. So you would put that way the hell down here. Okay? Or we could put a recycling center, which will do 15 trucks. Burns 240 kilowatts per week. Okay, it uses water. Upkeep's 240 per week. What's the upkeep here? It's 160 per week. So it's more expensive to have a recycling center, but it's less pollution. You see? We could just put that right here. Could fit it right here. Actually, no, that's going to take down that deal. We don't want that. So, and see, I planned that just right. Yep. Actually, no, that was supposed to be a street right there. So I may replan that at some point. We're going to put that right there. Now we got recycling. Yay. So now the people will have garbage. I'm glad our city is taking a step in the right direction. Hooray. See, now the houses are starting to upgrade. See them? All right. Delta Mavericks won the National Basketball League Championship. Yay. Go Mavericks. Hey, the Delta Mavericks. It ain't the Dallas Mavericks, that's for sure. Yeah, no. All right. We have a little bit of cash. Here's what I want to do. I want to upgrade 2-lane road, wide sidewalks. This is going to be our main street. So we're going to do the exclamation point to upgrade the street. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And actually, the idea here is we're going to try to set this up to get people to walk to work, which will save traffic across this intersection. Okay, cool, go. That didn't cost that much. And look how much we're making, 1,000 plus a week. All right. Now, residential demand is coming up again. All right. But it's fluctuating. Industrial demand is there. We've got a demand for jobs. All right. So let's give people some jobs. We're going to wind up making that road over here. So that needs to be there. That needs to be there. Because I can put a second recycling center next to this one, but it's going to take up like one extra tile, maybe two. So let's make a reference point here. Okay. So it fits in this space, but then this gets destroyed. All right. So what I'm going to do is a little razzle dazzle. We're going to take that out and that out. Okay. And then we're going to go zoning. Okay. Actually, I hate to do this, but we're going to do this. We're going to take those out. And we're going to come back and we're going to fix it here in a second. What the hell was that? All right. So now we got the road. We don't need to upgrade. We just need to do this. Okay. There's our next road. All right. So now we'll go and put in our... Okay, so there's 8, right? And there's 8, right? There's 8, right? And now that should develop very quickly. Now, our residential is going down again, but still there's demand. So this area is built out pretty well. So then let's add just a little bit here. Add a little bit here. Add a little bit on the backside of the school, maybe. Add a little bit here. A little bit of commercial demand coming up. Let's add that here. Let's add some across here. Okay? Go. So this is coming up very quickly. It'll balance out. But that's the key. It's a balancing act. And we're pushing to get to 900 something people. Something smells fishy. What could smell fishy? That's not a good sign. Oh, so that's not a good sign. And it shouldn't be an issue there. We're still good there. Could be garbage. Garbage processing status is not good. All right, so let's turn that off. Let's go over here and let's bump this up. Let's go 75%. There. Go. And then let it run for a few seconds. And then we'll click on garbage and industry. Now our garbage processing status is better. It's still not where it should be. So we're going to have to bump it up some more. Let's go to 85. Okay. Which is going to eat into our budget. But now we're up to $1,500 a week. We're making money. That's good. We got people coming in. Not many, not fast. We're maintaining balance here, though. Now, see, the new lots have already built out. All right. So, let's build some more. Now, we're going to put people on. Actually, no. We're going to put the people down here. Why are we not going to put them over here, A-Train? Because the school is here. All right. We'll have a better chance to upgrade if we keep them near the school. And they have the services they want. Okay. So we're just going to run this on out. Another 30, 40 tiles or so. Okay. Now, we want to find where Avenue C is going to be. What's our distance here between? That's 560. That's 580. Yeah, you know what? That's good. That's a node. That was the word I was looking for earlier, was a node. Nodes, because where we're going, we don't need nodes. Actually, we do need nodes, but there. Cool. All right, so now, let's just change this to Avenue C. Okay. That's done. And then we grab this. Boom. Okay. Same thing here. all the way down. Same thing here, all the way down. Now, if we put traffic rules in place for it, then it would say, you streets yield to this street or whatever. Okay, there's Avenue C, Avenue B. Okay, everything's happy, right? Cool. Now, we got to run water. We're going to go a little bit. See, it shows you some guidelines that lines everything up. Now, we can do a little of this. Now, we have some demand for commercial. So I'm thinking maybe Avenue C, we'll maybe put some commercial in around, like at the, corner store or something like that. Does that make sense? Otherwise, we're going to put residential all the way down to here. We're going to fill up this space. Now, I'm going to leave a bunch of this blank for future use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is probably good. What's the future use, A-Train? Parks. You want a park, you want a library, stuff like that, you put it next to the school. Okay? There we go. All right, ready? Go. All right, see, we're up to 16 megawatts. Look how quick that's growing there. See, we put in some more commercial over there. Put in some commercial right here. Like that. Put a little commercial right there, like that. See, commercial's higher. Now industrial's coming up again. Put some industrial here. And here. And there we are. Worthy Village. Hooray. All right, we made it to our second milestone, and we'll be able to buy our second tile. So this is where also we can add a fire department, police department, and then we get some unique buildings. You can do some policies, districts. You can get another loan. Notice we haven't needed a loan. Okay, services, policies, stuff like that. But it did unlock a new 2x2 kilometer square. Okay, so this is our second milestone, and this is where we are going to hold up for this first episode of our Evansville build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, make sure to put those down in the comments. But we appreciate you being here. Hope you'll like, share, subscribe. Turn on that bell icon so you know when we go live or upload a video. And make sure to join us on Discord, link in the description below. Also, again, your donations are great. Your intonations hopefully are positive, and you enjoyed this because I kept it to a reasonable length of time. It's only an hour and 15 minutes. It's not bad. So we're going to try to keep these short. I may pre-record some of them and edit them down as we go in and start doing more specialized work. But this one, I hope, gives you an idea how to start a city and get going in City Skylines. City Skylines 2 was just announced recently and teased, so you might want to put that on your watch list on Steam. City Skylines from Paradox Interactive is available on Steam, link in the description below. So go get you some of that. Otherwise, gang, thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are on planet Earth or beyond. I'm A-Train. It's over. And I'm out.